Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Got a good bit of rain overnight. We had some storms blow through. Nothing too terribly severe here. A little bit of hail and some wind, but nothing too bad. But boy, we got some rain. In fact, that about right there where my finger is where I have been standing when I make my videos down here at the creek. And as you can see, it's got water over it. Not lots, but still. Pretty good amount of rain. The creek's flowing a lot more. You may be even able to hear the bubbling of the water. So that's always an added blessing, especially this time of the year. Sometimes when I get up and I prepare for these morning videos, I have to kind of struggle occasionally or, go back and forth on what I'm going to talk about if I haven't figured it out the night before. So if I haven't done that, I kind of have to figure it out in the morning. And there's other mornings that it's quite obvious and kind of slaps me in the face because there's so much going on that I just can't avoid it. And that's this morning. There's just a lot of stuff going on, folks. And none of it's looking good. There's a few random things and then a couple or three really big things. And so let's get into the random things because there's just a lot going on. Maryland Public Schools, they've reinstated, the things. They're saying that they have to wear N95s. N95s, which of course is better, but that's also more costly. So we're pushing a more expensive thing onto the children. Children, they're tearing things up and pulling them off. And so now they have to wear N95s. Biden administration, you folks are going to love this one. This just warms our hearts and gives us filled with joy. Has announced another $1 billion aid package to Ukraine. Yes, another $1 billion aid package. Got to give them some fresh money. Because oligarchs and Zelensky, they need to buy another Bugatti and Mercedes and Rolls Royce and all that kind of stuff. Americans are defaulting on credit cards and auto loans at rates not seen since 2008, the financial crisis back then. It's all just an indicator that we have such a strong economy, which is what we keep hearing from the White House. This one here, some of you may not have the same feeling about this as I do, but that's okay. It's my channel, not yours. Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio was sentenced yesterday to 22 years in prison for the January 6th stuff. Interesting is the guy wasn't even there. Yes, he was the Proud Boys guy that ran the whole show for the Proud Boys organization, and I'm not defending them at all. But he wasn't even there. He did coordinate the Proud Boys being at the January 6th event, but he wasn't there himself. And when you compare that to this little bit of news article, that the city of Denver has approved $4.72 million settlement to go to 300 BLM protesters that were arrested during the 2020, Summer of Love protests, after the city realized that they suppressed their free speech. So this isn't the first time this has happened. LA has done this recently, and so has New York. So they're giving money to the BLM and Antifa protesters that caused billions of dollars in damage, several people killed and multiple people injured during their big Summer of Love. But people that weren't even at the January 6th event are thrown in jail for decades. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Climate stuff. We've been talking about that off and on, and I feel pretty confident that at some point we're going to start seeing some mandated restrictions or something more so than what we've been hearing already from the Biden administration because of the climate emergency. We're seeing the rhetoric increase. We're seeing the intensity of how dangerous and bad things is increase. And the United Nations chief is saying that the climate breakdown has begun. Just in the last 24 hours, the European Union has stated that the global temperatures this summer were the highest on record. The United Nations Weather Agency says this is the hottest year on record for the Northern Hemisphere. And the Copernicus Climate Change Services says the hottest 3 months on record have just been recorded on Earth. So yeah, I'd say we're not too far away from some level of increase when it comes to you know, what's going on and how they're going to restrict our lives and tax us and make us all live in these little cubicles in smart cities, little pods, and take away our vehicles. And well, they're going to try that. They're going to try that. You know, we have to push back, and we have to be prepared for that. But they are going to try that kind of stuff. And then the last really interesting one, and whether it's something to roll our eyes at or something to realize that it could be extremely, extremely dangerous, because we never learn. The Pentagon is considering the development of a vast network of AI-powered drones and autonomous systems within the next 2 years. They say it's to counter the threat from China and other adversaries. So, for those of you that didn't watch any of them, this sounds very much like a Terminator situation, just creating, you know, we're creating it. So we're creating this vast network of autonomous, AI-driven drones and other types of robotics. They're not given a lot of details. That are meant for war, apparently, because it's the DoD doing it, and it's to combat threats from China. So we're going to create a bunch of artificial intelligent robotics, and that's a good thing, right? There's no danger or threat in that. We've never seen this story played out. You know, some people say, why don't you know, these politicians and these, you know, people in power ever watch these Hollywood movies? They're pretty good at showing how things can happen. It could be the other way. Maybe the Hollywood movies are just predictive programming to let you know what's eventually going to take place in the future. This is crazy stuff, and yet they're doing it. No matter how many experts out there that have warned against artificial intelligence and artificial intelligent robots, our government is still pushing it. We're still pushing forward with doing that. We've got the climate change that humans are all causing it. So the AI can come in and restrict our lives and control our lives because we are destroying the planet. You know, the AI is going to look at humanity as nothing but a virus on this planet because we've caused all of this global warming and pollution and too many people. And so the AI will say, you know, we've got a solution. We're going to fix this. And we're going to reduce people, and we're going to restrict everything. This sounds crazy, but it's well within the world of possibilities. There's already been talk about how AI could control governments better than people. They've run tests on this kind of stuff. AI in charge of your medical care. I've talked about that before. You know, you go to your doctor and they type everything in on a computer, and the computer program kind of gives suggestions on what's wrong with you and how to treat it. At some point in the near future, you won't have a doctor there. You may have some kind of assistant or nurse or some kind of person, but for the most part, the computer driven by artificial intelligence will be telling you what's wrong with you and how to fix it and what they need to do. And if it tells you the wrong thing and it gives you the wrong kind of medicine because it thinks that you're just some kind of disease for this planet, then oh well, it'll fix the planet in the long run because it's going to eliminate a lot more people. I know I'm kind of out there a little bit on talking about this, but really it's not that far out there. And the push for artificial intelligence with all this other stuff going on is very real, and it's something that we really need to pay attention to and to come up with a way to try to live outside of it. We don't want to have too much technology in our world. I know we're all using technology as I speak to watch this and for me to record this. But at some point we have to have a contingency plan in place to say goodbye to technology, or at least drastically reduce it and put major controls and restrictions on the technology that we use. Because more and more technology is invading our privacy. It already is, but it's happening more and more it will control us. And so we need to be planning for that. Folks, this stuff is serious. Our rights are being wiped away. We're watching our once justice system that was looked upon by the rest of the world as the best being now used to just politically attack the opposite side. We are a banana republic completely. We're watching America's fortunes being, ripped away from us. We're watching the debt and the financial crisis get very, very severe. Food prices skyrocketing, everything. We're watching the wars increase and our involvement in those wars increase. We're watching the whole COVID pandemic or whatever else is out there increase. We're watching the climate change things increase. It's all getting worse. It's a building rhythm here that we're watching. It's just this building. And we know at some point there's going to be grand repercussions from all of this expansion of all this stuff. So you need to be getting ready, folks. You need to be getting your houses in order, taking it seriously, and preparing mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.